So in the last class, what we had a discussion, we had a discussion about how we can create a service catalog for the front end, not the back end. So we have seen the how the form it was look like, and we have good with the same thing. Now what we can do is I'm just opening that one. So what is our item name yesterday? It was a mobile request. Okay, so I'm just opening our item. So this is our front end form. So it was shown as a requester, and the requester email ID, phone number, phone company, delivery address, and the model. Like that, there are few details or we have added. Today, what happened? We will add a back end work. So that means we are seeing this is the front end. So how we are seeing in the Flipkart or Amazon. If you want to purchase a Amazon, what we will do, we can go to the select the category as a mobile and product as a Samsung, and you can select the model number and we can purchase the same thing. That is the only we know how it is work in the front end. Okay, so now today we will configure how it was work in the back end. So for that, what we will do is I'm just creating one workflow for it. I'm just go to the configure item. So here the workflow is nothing but it's a set of actions which we can do the same thing. So for example, so if you want to do workflow, we can go to the workflow editor. From the workflow editor, we can create a new workflow, and we can do the our things. So these are all existing workflow. So I'm just creating a new workflow. New. This is a very interesting topic, guys. This workflow and this ITA, this category logs is a completely on your ITSM project. If you're working in ITSM project, this should be one. So I'm just giving the the name as mobile. I'm just giving as a mobile request, and table is so here whenever if you submitted requested item and task will be done, I will show you an example. So if you configure any service catalog, the workflow is the you have to give the requested item. See the requested item description, we can give it stage, we can I'm just going to submit this one. Now what happened, I just created a one of the I just created a workflow. So for this workflow, we need to add a multiple things. Right now, I'm just giving this tag, removing this one. So this is the begin end. Forget about right now. Forget about end. Now these are all existing workflow. That means if we have already configured these workflows, but now we need to configure and we need to add few activities. So for example, if you go to the core activities, in the ServiceNow workflow, there are I think it was 9 core activities. The first one is approval, and second one is a condition, third one is a notification, and fourth one is on call, fifth one service catalog, and subflows. So the seventh one, eighth one is a task, ninth one is a timer, and last but not least, tenth is the utilities. So these are all we will call as a core activities in the workflow. So the interviewer may ask, what are the core activities in the service now? So then you have to tell that there are few core activities in ServiceNow. The first one is approvals, conditions, and third one is notification, on call, and service catalog, and subflows, tasks, and timers and utilities. You have to tell them this way. Now the next step, what we will do is so the approvals. See, if you open approvals, there are few approvals are there. See, there are in the approvals, there are sub activities were there. The first one is the approval group, which means if you want to trigger approval for the group, then we can use the approval group. And if you want to trigger any approval to the particular user, then we will use the this approval user. You can see set of approval panel. If you see approval group, it creates a group approval rule. Next one, approval action, we can mark it as a either it's a approved or rejected. This will show the workflow in a point way. I will show you. Next, approval coordinator. Approval coordinator is the responsible for one or more approval activities, which is the previous one, which means he will take care of the these approvals for this one. And generate, if you want to generate any dynamic approvals, we can generate it one. And manual approvals, if you want any manual approval, we can do it. Rollback is nothing but if you want to back out those one, we can use a rollback option. This is the basic thing. And next one is the conditions. I hope till now you clear, right? Approvals, very good. And the next step is, what is the conditions? Conditions is nothing but we have multiple conditions here. If switch, wait for condition, and wait for double F event, which means the condition is nothing but whatever we are giving the condition. So for example, if the phone is Samsung, the workflow has to go the one. Or if the phone product model was uh, Apple, it has to go to the different users approval. So at the time we can use the if. Switch is nothing but right, switch is a multiple things that determines at a time, we can do the same thing. And wait for condition, if you want to wait for any condition, we can do the same thing. The next one is workflow event. So workflow event, it's wait for event causes the workflow to wait the activity until the specified event is fired. Since I didn't tell that event is fired, I will show you the example. This one, these are the basic conditions. And next one is the, I hope you guys understood the conditions, right? Sorry, condition, if switch, and workflow wait for condition, and wait for workflow event. I hope it clear or any confusion. Okay, that's okay. Next one, notification. Notification, here we have a event and notification. So we will send an email notification to the user in a different way. First one, creating email on the table, and second one, we can trigger a notification from the workflow, and we can create an event, we can call it from the business tool, and we can send an email when that event is filed. So I didn't explain you the how we can create event and the notification. This I will show you an example later. And notification, we have already seen how we can trigger. The same concept we can apply, we can see to in the example one. And the next one is on call. Sorry, local log escalation. So on call log escalation is used to attempt the record or is the details we have. And on call log communication is nothing but it will send a communication to the user, and escalation end when the escalation need to end. So when the escalation level, what is the escalation level? And on call log escalation level, I think we don't require, or we never use, mostly we never use this one. And next one is the service catalog. If you want any scriptable order guide, we can allow the same thing. I will show you the subflows. Subflows is nothing but we can create a one sub workflow for it, which means creating a workflow within the workflow. This is called a subflow. We'll show you this is a later. And task, if you want to create any task, we can create it. Catalog task and generate task, we can give it. And timer activities, how much time we need to wait for this, and for example we can use them. And utilities, this is the one of the most important. Branch is nothing but if you want to club two or more activities one item, then we can use the branch activity. And join is nothing but if you want to, sorry, branch is nothing but if you want to specify or change the tasks one to multiple, we can use a branch. Join is nothing but what are the activities which was performed from the branch, like multiples. If you want to combine or club as a one, we can use the join. And lock is nothing but if you want to lock the workflow, we can use the workflow one. And log message, if you want to see log message. Log trace message, if you want to see the tracing of the backend. And return value, if you want to return anything, we can use it. And run script, if you want to execute any script, we can use the same thing. And set values, set values is nothing but if you want to set any value dynamically, so then we can use the same thing for it. Statically we can use the set values. And turn slide, turnstile is an activity which, see, this is the one of the most common asked interview question. What is a turnstile activity in the workflow? The turnstile activity is nothing but if you want to control or set up the how many times we need to we need to return value the workflow, then we can use it from the turnstile. For example, let me see. So if you want to control the workflow, how many times you need to trigger or something, we sorry, if you want to how many times you need to return the value, we can use the turn cell. And unlock is nothing but which can be used to unlock where we have locked the workflow, we can do. This is the basic step we need to configure it. Till now this is the one. I hope you guys clear or any confusion. Now here what happened, I'm just going to the mobile request. Here I'm just adding this workflow as here. Let's see how it is works. So here we have a process engine. In that process engine, I'm just removing. There is a some default execution plan, so we don't require this one, and I'm just deleting. And workflow. What is the workflow? Mobile request. So sorry, M is not right. Mobile request. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to adding this mobile request. Now first, what happened? I'm just using the if, for example, in the category, if the mobile was, if the phone company was Samsung, we need to send an approval to the some XYZ group. Let's see how it is works. So in the workflow, so I'm just checking if condition. Checking for Samsung company. So I'm just going to, since it is no, we just take, since it is a variable, we can take the variable and select what is the item. Our item is a mobile phone, right? Sorry, mobile request. And I'm sorry, the variable name is phone company. If the phone company is Samsung. Then I'm just submitting this one here. So it will check if the company is Samsung. What happened? It will go for approval to the one of the group. So I'm just giving the approval. So I'm just giving approval group as a. Uh, so I'm just saying here. So condition fear we have already done. So you see here, if you want any group statically, we can give this one group here. Or else if you want to give any what are the existing field, we can give it. But if you want any statically, I'm just giving as one of the what is a group, we can give it. So I'm just giving as hardware and locking this one. See, next one. If you want any schedule, how many days we need to wait for it, we can write it. If you want any schedule like how we have given in the SLS schedule, the workflow schedule, what is the workflow, we can give it, and how many days we can due date is also we can give it. So what was the time zone has to trigger for it. See here we have a specific time zone, or else here we have any specific time zone. You can give the time zone, or if you want it, a time zone field in the T1, we can give it, or else we can give. If you don't want any time zone, you can give it the duration. For example, if I give as a 4 hours, for example, let's see how it is works. And if you want to see, wait for on any approval from a group. That means if anyone is approved, then that means any an approval, if you are giving one approval is enough for this one, or if you want any reject, if anyone rejected, it will be automatically rejected. Now what we have to go is, I'm just going to submit this one. So if it is approved, that is fine. Now if it is a Samsung, it is fine. If that is not Samsung, that means Apple or one, we need to trigger another approval to the another group. Now right now what we will do is right click. I'm just copying this activity, so you can copy the same thing and here. Now I'm just changing this Apple or Apple or OnePlus approval. I'm just writing. So here it is the hardware. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to remove this one. I'm just giving as a some software. The same thing I have again 4 hours, and I don't require this one. And I'm just locking and update approve. So if that is approved, it will go to end. Even this is rejected also. We need to go to the end. So now what we have done is, we have done a very small thing. Now I'm just going to publish this one. What is a publish is nothing but if you publish that workflow, then only that will be applicable to you. Without you, it will be over. That means if you want to utilize that workflow, so you need to publish that one. So right now we have published it and it was attached it. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just reloading this page. Let's see how it is executes. So I will tutor and request a manager test at the rate gmail.com. This is the phone number. and mobile I'm just giving as Samsung and test for mobile first. So this is the one. If I go to order it, let's see how it looks. So now a request to see whenever if you submitted a request for any catalog item, first the request is created REQ. From if you open REQ, from that REQ a requested item will be automatically created. So that's a requested item. If I open this requested item, so this is the one whatever we have done the same thing. See, I will do the test. What are the details we have entered? So here what happened? We have given as Samsung. If you given as Samsung, what is the approval? The group we have given as a Samsung, it should go to the hardware group. So it was go to the hardware group. From here anyone we can do it. So I'm just approving on behalf of you want to on behalf of, for example, if you want to see how the workflow is in, so workflow you can see if you click on the show workflow in that related list, you can see it how it is works on. See, hello, can you hear me? Hello, hello guys, can you hear me? Okay, very good. Because I'm getting network issue. Yeah. So what I am going to do is I just this is the approval group. So for this approval group, what happened? I'm just going to approving on behalf of the this guy Ferd Ludi approve. See the RTM has been approved, and if you open a workflow, just refresh it. See, first it will check whether Samsung is company. Since we are given as a Samsung as a company, so it is come here and it will go to the approval group. Since we have approved, it will come to here and is the here one. But since that, oh my god, for this you see for the approved we have not given the connection here. So we did a mistake. So if you want to see there is no connection with the approved. If you want to check out that one, check if you want to modify the workflow. So we need to check out that one. I'm just going to here, creating here. Now again I'm publishing this one. Let's see how it is works. Now I'm just going to open the try it. Abraham Lincoln. So it's not a number. So now I'm just giving Samsung again. Test. Order it. So I'm just opening this RITM which you have submitted. See, it's been approved. It's not yet approved. So I'm just approving on behalf of this guy, Ford Ludi. See if that is approved. If you click on the workflow, since we have given the connection, the workflow has ended. So now, but if that is approved, so somebody has to work on backend, right? For example, if something is going on, so we need to generate a task for the user. So for that, what we can do is we just created. I'm just going to existing this one. So here I'm just going to here. So I'm just removing these connections. So I'm just adding if that is approved. Upload action I'm just making as approved. So we can make as a task as approved. So I'm just making to the same thing we need to use it. I'm just copying this one. So we can take as a mark as a rejected. So we can make this one. So I'm just copying this activity since it is the same thing. Now this workflow is some meaningful. Now, so now if that is approved, somebody has to work in the backend. And also if that is approved, you can see if that approved, still I can see the request stage was request approved. I needn't change this one. So if that is approved, I want to change the state to request approved is already done, and state to work in progress something it has. If you want to change this one, we can change this. But since it is approved, we don't need required. Now what happened if somebody has to work on the same thing, which means if it is approved, some delivery team has to work on, some team has to configure the mobile as per the our company standards, and from that they need to do the same thing. Now what I am going to do is so if that is approved, I just want to create a task for the user. So task, catalog task. So Samsung mobile task I'm just giving. See, this is the priority where we can set it. I'm just giving as a moderate, and wait for completion. If this is complete, then only it has to wait it. And task values from the feed, and what is a group we can give it. So I'm just giving this one as a hardware group. So we can give any group. If you want any assign to also, we can give it. Right now, I'm not giving any assign to Samsung task, and this is the task we can do it. And here, what are the variables? Okay, let me. I will show you the example. What is this variable task confirm? So I just added this task. If that is task is completed, then we can go to the same thing. So here similarly, I'm just copying this activity. So I'm just copying this one. So since we are given this one, moderate, I'm just giving here. Here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to this one as a software. So I'm just going to here. So now what happened? So we just added a one task one. If the user is selected as a Samsung mobile, the task will go to the Samsung mobile one, the flow. Or if the user is selected as a OnePlus or Apple, it will go to the OnePlus or mobile. So now I'm just going to publish this workflow. Now I'm just close this one. Right. I'm just selecting another turbo. So I'm just opening this one. You can see right now it has been approved to the what is the one? Since we are selected as a Samsung, so it has been approved. It has been went to the one. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to approve on behalf of the any one of the user. So it went for approval. So right now it has been approved, and once it is approved, a task will be generated here. You can see here. See what we have done. We have given the priority as a mid moderate and the assignment group as a assignment group. There is no field. Okay, let me add the assignment group field from the form layout. So I just added this one. Okay. So the group which I given hardware has came, but you can see in the RATM what happened. The what are the variables we have added? It was visible here, but in the task it was not showing. Got it here? The difference. So in the RATM, what are the variables we have entered? It was there, but the issue was whatever the changes we are given, it was not, variables entered, it was not showing in the catalog. Sorry, task. If you want to show the task, so whatever we have to do is we need to add the variable here. So just go to unpublish the workflow. See here what are the variables here, right? Available and selected. So select the variables you want to appear on that catalog task form. You need to select all these ones. Select here, update, and next the same thing also here. The same thing. Which we have to do the same thing. The similarly, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to catalog item. The try it. I'm just going to open this one. The requester. Now what I'm going to sample text. Got the mobile request. So we can approve here. I'm just going to approve on behalf of any one of the user. Now a task has been generated here. If any catalog task is generated, see this is the one. See here, right now the variables is visible, right? Earlier it was not visible. Now you guys understood why it was not visible. So since we have not added those variables from the on the catalog task form from the workflow, so it was not visible. If you want to display on this one, we need to add those one on the catalog form display. I hope you clear, right? Or any confusion? Okay. So now I just want to create a one more item with the different example. Different example is nothing but till now we have seen how it is working as per the flow. I'm just checking as a Apple test one. So Apple test and ordering and just give a minute. So I'm just giving as a Apple and one. I'm just going to submitting. Still it is submitting. Still it is loading. Just give a minute. Yes, just give a minute. Okay, this charging is done. Okay, now so the request is created. Now I'm just going to open that mobile request. So now let's see how it is works. See, it was entered approval. Apple we have given. So if the Apple is given, it was went for approval for the what is the group? It was software. So if it is go to the software, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to approve on behalf of the IT, ITIL user. So what happened now? It was in approved one, and the thing was we have not given that another thing. So since we have given the Apple, so we need to generate it. It has to generate task one, and which is a task to the send to the software. If I go to the show workflow, see, so it was checked whether check company was Samsung. Since this is a no, it was given for approval, and since it was an approved action is done. A catalog task is running. A catalog task is running is nothing but this catalog, which means the catalog item is triggering here. So that means it is waiting for the catalog task to complete it. If that is a complete, then only it will go to the different level for this, which means the catalog item. So the catalog item has to complete it. So right now I'm just going to here. I'm just opening this catalog item. So the catalog item, I'm just going to catalog item, mark it as a completed, and I'm just going to save this one. Then let's see what happened to the. See, the workflow will goes to the end, and that RITM didn't go to the end. So I will. We can discuss that how we can do the next steps on this workflow. Till now, what we have discussed, we just create a workflow here. In that workflow, what we did is we are checking for the company. If that is a Samsung, it will go to the approval for the hardware group, and once it has been approved, it is generating a task for the mobile group, Samsung mobile group. That's a basic thing, and also we again, if the user has selected Apple or OnePlus, we need to trigger a email to the, so you need to trigger a approval to the software group, and once it is that approved, we need to generate a one task to the software group. This is the basic thing. We need to do the same thing. I hope you guys clear till now what we discussed, or any confusion or any doubts. Hello, can you hear me? Hello. So I hope you clear any confusion. Okay, so I'm reading as you guys completed. So kindly today, please note down the task for today. So please kindly. So since yesterday we have created one multiple choice field on the form. Depending upon the choice field, we need to trigger a multiple one approval. If the user is selected first choices, it has go to the second one. If your user is selected second choices, it has go to the different approval. And once it is approved, a task has to generate it. Once it is rejected, it has to close automatically. And once the user has selected second option, it says task has to generate. The task will be sent to the different group. And also, what are the variables it should be visible on the form. We need to do the same thing. This is the basic thing. We have to configure the same thing. uh, Anyone has any questions till now the task about today? Okay, I'm treating it very good. I'm treating as a no.